Hello, I'm your host, Ron King of RKP Radio, and welcome to another edition of The Ron King Show. Today, it's a real pleasure to have in our studios a good friend of mine, the pretty and talented singer-songwriter Sandy Lusco Huffman. Sandy, welcome to the program, dear.
Oh, thank you. It's so great to be on your program tonight.
Well, I'm glad you feel that way.
I do.
Sandy,
we go back a long way.
Yeah, we do. Sandy, it's been several years since you've been in this studio. I believe your mom first brought you into this studio to record some gospel songs when you were in your late teens. Is that correct?
Yes. I gave my heart to the Lord when I was 19, and I wrote my first gospel song then. And I think I had about 6 gospel songs, and she brought me here to your studio to record.
Okay. Sandy, how old were you when you first became interested in singing?
Well, I've loved singing since I was little, but when I was about 13, my mom started getting me in front of crowds, and I joined this contest called the Gong Show.
Did they have one of those hooks on the Gong Show?
Yes, they did.
Did you get hooked?
No, I won.
Oh, really?
$25.
Where was the Gong Show? Where was it?
It was at South Franklin Township Park on 4th of July.
Okay. Do you recall what did you do? I'm a Little Teapot or something? What did you do?
No, I played my guitar and sang Morris Albert's song, Feelings, Nothing More Than Feelings.
Well, that's neat. Sandy, when you were growing up, was there a lot of music in your home?
From my mom. She used to play with big bands.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. But she gave it up when she raised her family. So
she was like the singer that fronted the large orchestra then, back maybe in the 30s, 40s, something like that? Oh, that was nifty. Yeah. Sandy, at what age did you start playing the guitar?
I was 10. My mother's friend, they had 3 ladies in the neighborhood would get together and sing. They called themselves the Strawberries. They wore little strawberry pins, and her friend knew she could plunk on the guitar and play some chords, and she bought her a Yamaha 6-string classical guitar, and I kept picking on it. And she said, well, if you're going to pick on that guitar, you got to learn to play it right.
Oh, okay.
So when I was 10, she took me to lessons, and I took lessons for about 6 years.
Okay, did she buy your first guitar then, or did you?
Her friend actually bought it for her, for my mom.
And then you used your mom?
And then I used it.
Usually it doesn't.
I kind of took it over. But she was glad to let me.
Oh, that's a great story.
I took lessons around the corner here for several years.
Spriggs House of Music.
Spriggs House of Music,
yeah, right,
and Tony Jamflone as well.
Right here in Washington, PA. Both of those guys, good friends of mine. Sandy, I believe when you were fairly young, you appeared on the WWVA Radio Jamboree out of Wheeling, Yahoo, West Virginia. How did that come about?
Well, when I was 15, my parents heard that you could sing at midnight above the Jamboree. They had like a ballroom. So my mom thought and dad thought I could sing good, and they wanted to get me out there and get exposed, even though it was midnight. I was 15, and we went to Wheeling, and I sang several times, and they had a contest going there. For years they've had it. It's called Star Quest.
Okay.
And I tried out for it, and there was 6 finalists, and I got to be one of them. Okay. And each one of us had to play one song on the stage of Jamboree in the Hills. It was probably the biggest crowd I've ever played for in my life.
Jamboree in the Hills. That's thousands of people, huh?
And I just turned 16.
Oh, my.
And I had a whole band to back me up, and it was pretty exciting.
I would imagine so. Hey, did you get to meet any of the old country radio stars, say like Hawkshaw Hawkins or anybody like that?
Porter Wagner, Boxcar Willie, Hank Williams Jr.,
Dolly Parton,
Stella Parton, Donna Fargo, Ronnie Millsap, Alan Jackson.
When Ronnie saw you, what did he say? Okay. Just keep it going here. Sandy, you were telling me this evening before
Fair
we
and
rolled
Young.
tape. Tell me the story about Fair and Young.
Well, we all had dressing rooms. Of course, the big star had a big dressing room. We had these little ones downstairs. And it was the second show, and I was at the top of the stairs, and Baron Young come up the stairs.
Yes.
When he reached the top, he put his head up and said, "Hi, honey." And I could just smell the alcohol. And he went on the stage, and next thing you know, they pulled the curtain.
Oh, really?
And played his records. I guess they gave refunds to everybody, but the show was off.
Reminds me a little bit of George Jones. He came to be known as No-Show Jones. I guess there was a bit of that in the industry.
Yeah. One time I was playing on the jamboree, and I had hot tea in a mug.
Yeah.
And one of the supervisors there come over and stiffed my drink.
Make sure you
to
didn't
make sure I wasn't drinking.
So he didn't want any Tetley in there. Only Liptons are allowed backstage here at the. I heard a story down there where they have those old dressing rooms, and they had a buffet supper for Karen Carpenter of the Carpenters. Well, she was kind of anorexic and a little touchy with the food and the whole bit. The story goes, the stagehands tell me at the jamboree, she came out, saw that buffet table with all the food on it, and upended that thing like Jesus did with the money changers in the temple.
Really?
Yeah. The guys had to eat candy bars out of the vending machine for supper after that.
Wow.
Sandy, I know you're a good Christian lady. I've known you for a long time. At what point did you make a commitment to the Lord?
Well, after I graduated, I think there was change in management of the jamboree, and I wasn't getting on there as much, and I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I knew I loved music, but I didn't have the guts like Dolly Parton to get on a bus and go to Nashville. And I didn't want to sing in clubs. And I got away from the Lord, actually. When I was 18, I kind of quit going to church, drifted from the Lord, and just didn't know what my purpose was. And got to the point where I had that just real void and emptiness, and realized my sinfulness too. And I gave my heart to the Lord after a Billy Graham crusade in my bedroom, and heard Debbie Boone.
So the whole crusade was in your bedroom?
Well, I was home alone, and it was a tough night. I was feeling pretty bad about myself.
Okay.
And Billy Graham preached on that television set.
Got it.
And gave me the invitation to Christ. But what really made a strong impression on me, too, was Debbie Boone. I loved her singing.
Yes.
And she sang "You Light Up My Life," but she said that she thinks about Jesus when she sings this song.
Yes.
And seeing her singing for the Lord and testifying just made a real impression on me that that's what I wanted to do with music, was to touch people for Christ. Because I saw in my young age on the jamboree a lot of fakeness with people. Kiss up to this person, kiss up to that person, and you had to dress ways that I really didn't want to dress.
Right.
So that's what I wanted to do.
After you made this commitment to the Lord, did you feel that you wanted to start write and singing gospel and Christian songs, Sandy?
Well, I asked the Lord that night that I rededicated my life to Him. I actually asked the Lord in my heart when I was 15, but I had backslid.
Oh, okay.
So when I rededicated my life fully to Him, I asked Him that night in my bedroom, "Lord, what do you want me to do with music?" And His still small voice said, "I want you to go to nursing homes." And of all the things that I have done, it's been the most rewarding of all.
That's fantastic. So I imagine then you've probably written a few Christian and gospel songs over the years. How many tunes do you think you've penned, Sandy?
Well, I started writing the gospel tunes after I gave my heart fully to the Lord. Before that, I had written country tunes, but probably a total of 150 or so.
Are they all good songs?
Well, if I think they're just no good, I just trash them. But if I think they're...
So you think
I feel like the Lord gave me that inspiration. So yeah, everything the Lord gives is good.
Sandy, besides the jamboree, I saw you singing one time, and you were in this looked like a children's costume, and
Oh, yeah.
you were singing songs to children. They were all crowded around you at Sweet Sunday that we put on for the city mission here. I think it was out at the Hilton, and so you got the guitar. And you got the goofy little outfit. So, what was your shtick at the time? What did you have a name for that act?
Yeah, I was Sandy the songstress.
Oh, and name a couple tunes that you would do for the little kids.
Oh, well, I wrote some Put Away Your Troubles. I did like gospel type children's songs, and then, Would You Like to Hug My Putty Bear type songs, and the fire truck song. My little boy was afraid of the fire truck engines, and I wrote this fire truck song, and I had about 20 children's songs.
Did you ever have an agent that would send you out to precocious little kids' Christmas parties?
Oh, yeah.
Birthday parties?
Yeah. I had a children's agent there for several years, and I went to some interesting situations.
I can imagine. I don't like this singer. I want cake now. Get rid of the singer. Sandy, you lived in Washington, PA, I know, for many years, but you don't live here in Washington any longer. Where do you hang your hat now?
Well, I'm 2 miles from West Virginia, but I'm in Greene County, still in Pennsylvania, at the very edge of Pennsylvania.
And what's the name of the town?
Little New Freeport, PA.
Little New...
Well, it's called New Freeport, PA, but it's little.
I would imagine to differentiate it from old Freeport, right? Wherever that is. You ever go down the road and you see these things, New Philadelphia, and it's like, oh, you got to be kidding me. There's no way that this is going to be another Philadelphia. Right. And then you drive through and they have like one bar and one post office.
Something interesting. I live in a one-room schoolhouse.
Oh, do you?
It was added on to, but it was there since like the 1800s.
Wow. I am old enough, I hate to admit it, I actually was...
You went to a one-room school?
Had a pot-bellied stove, and every morning we'd get in line and the teacher would start looking in all the students' hair to see if she could find any critters.
No.
Oh, those were the good old days. Sandy, you've been performing for many years now. What other states besides Pennsylvania and West Virginia have you performed in?
Well, actually, I did a one-road show with the Wheeling Staff Band. When I was 17, I got to miss a day of school and go to Bloomington, Indiana, the college down there, and open for Tammy Wynette.
Wow, what a thrill,
That was pretty exciting.
Did you get your picture taken with her?
No. I dressed in the same locker room with her backup singers, and she said hi to me, but I didn't get...
She said
hi. And Florida, my parents live in Florida. I've played in there, and I lived in Georgia for just 18 months, and I played there, and West Virginia, Ohio.
Sandy, performing all these years, I'm sure you have a whole lot of war stories that we really can't get into, but can you remember a job that was particularly difficult for you to do? It wasn't much fun.
I guess I'd have to say, after I went through a divorce, it was very hard to go out and sing. And I would be crying in the car and think, how can I get in front of these people and sing? And when I'd go to the nursing homes and see the poor people there that couldn't get out of their chairs, and they were smiles on their faces, and it just encouraged me to keep on doing it. And it was therapy to me. Yeah,
I do that, probably not as much as you. And I come home sometimes, and it's like you feel good because you gave primarily the older ladies. There are a few men, but when you go to these nursing homes, you can see that ladies, you're going to last about 8 years longer than a man.
My grandpap, when their house burnt, my grandma went to stay with my aunt, but he wouldn't. He stayed in that burnt house while they fixed it all around him.
No kidding.
I think men are more that way.
Well, yeah, he doesn't.
We're not gonna
didn't
go
want,
in the
didn't want
nursing
to
home.
change in venue. I'm not going to the nursing home, and you can't make me.
Yeah. I think so.
Your car ever break down while you were out there on the road? You've been traveling for a long time.
Flat tires. Yeah, I've had. Well, probably the hardest experience was getting lost.
No GPS back then, right?
No, or you have to use a phone. You got to pull somewhere, and And now that you don't find pay phones, so you don't have your cell phone, you're in trouble.
I've gotten into a situation where I own 2 cell phones, and I really needed one badly, and I didn't have either of it. And that's stupid.
Yeah.
To have 2. What about joyful times? You say going into the nursing homes are joyful, but any particular job where you walked off stage and you were just floating on air?
Probably one of the neatest experiences was when they let me go into intensive care at Children's Hospital and sing for some of the children in intensive care. And the little girl wrote on her little tablet the little messages to me, and she was so sick, but she was enjoying the music. And
that's really great. I can share and appreciate that with you. For many years, I was an X-ray technician, and I worked for a period of time at Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh, and was in intensive care many, many times to see those children. So I know what you're talking about. It's great that there is a Children's Hospital. Sandy, over the years, I know you've recorded several CDs. Could you mention just a couple of those CDs?
Well, my very first CD was Where Are You? It's all original songs. And then I made one, it's like inspirational country. It's all original. And then I get so many requests for the old classic songs and the old time gospel hymns. So I ended up making 3 at once. And that was when my former husband, Jon Lusco, was alive. He was just diagnosed with cancer, and he played on all of them in the midst of battling cancer. And it kind of was therapeutic for him. That's why we kind of went with 3 CDs.
So you made a lot of CDs and then 3, as you say, in one fell swoop there. Sandy, I know you have a brand new Christmas CD out now. The reason I know it's Christmas time because our producer, Jon Bauduin, behind the camera over there, came in before the show with a bag of stuff. I mean,
yeah, it looks great.
And he started whipping this thing out, and I said, Jon, where'd you get that? We didn't even talk about it. And he says, well, it's a Christmas show with Sandy, so we'll just gussy the place up here. Yeah, I mean, you're a lady. Do you like that sort of thing?
Oh, I can't wait to decorate.
Oh, really?
I try to withhold it until after Thanksgiving.
Because the weather is nice. My wife got a bit of a head start. It's kind of like, I'm not going to be out there on that light pole wrapping those lights and then freezing and, that sort of thing. So you got this new CD out. What's the name of it?
Truly Christmas.
Truly Christmas. How many tunes on this CD?
There are 24 songs.
It has to be a double album.
It is.
I know that you cannot get 24 songs on one CD.
I didn't really intend to do that many, but I had 7 of my own original Christmas songs. But I wanted to include all these other favorites, and my mom and dad kept asking, well, you got to have this one, and can you have this one? And Evie, I loved 2 of her songs. For years, I wanted to have my own recording of 2 of Evie's songs. And
I'd completely forgotten about Evie.
It's a big favorite of mine. When I was first saved, I listened to her album over and over, her and Amy Grant. Okay,
and you said that there were 7 original songs you wrote on the CD? Okay, that's a lot of music. So with 2 CDs in there, I don't imagine you're selling it for just $10. You probably at least doubled that, haven't you?
Yeah, it's $20 for 24 songs. And
Hey, when you making all those songs, you had to be doing it in the springtime and in the summertime. How difficult is it when it's the middle of July, and it's 90 degrees outside, to sing Jingle Bells, and get all excited about it? How do you do that?
Well, what kind of got me set off is all winter I was waiting for a good day that my friend's a photographer, that we could get through the roads to get out in the country and take snow pictures.
So that's the reason on the front of the album cover, you have this really pretty coat on, and the white snow, and the blue face and lips.
Yeah, red cheeks. We just got 9 inches of snow, so that kind of got me going.
So Sandy, I know Christmas time is a short season, especially to promote a Christmas album. You have like about 30 days there, and we're starting right now. And we're going to be playing a ton of your music on RKP Radio. And we're doing this to try to help you out a little bit.
I really appreciate it.
So, I know that you're having some CD release parties, and you brought a list with you there. Could you just kind of look at the camera and tell the people where you're going to be appearing?
Yes. I'm actually going to be doing a concert this Sunday evening at the Mount Pleasant Gospel Light Tabernacle.
And what's the date?
But that's November 22nd.
Okay.
But I'm going to hold off the Christmas on that one.
Oh, okay.
It's before Thanksgiving.
Okay. I understand.
And then November 29th, I will be at the First United Methodist Church of Monongahela, PA.
Okay.
And it's a luncheon. While they're going to hang
John?
the greens.
And I don't like greens for lunch. I just I want red meat. Forget, we're not going to that, John. What's the next one?
Okay, then that same day, I'm going to be doing a nursing home service in the afternoon at Strabane Trails, and then that evening I'm doing a concert 6 p.m. Friendship Community Church, Washington, PA. And then they have a gospel sing, and one of the people there played on my CD.
Oh, really?
Jim Thompson.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to do some songs together.
And I know our good friend Bob Stark up in the West End of Washington has the Friday Faith Cafe, and you've booked with him. What date and time are you going to be there, Sandy?
That's going to be December 5th, 7 to 9 p.m. So I'll be doing a lot of Christmas music that night. I'm really excited to do all these wonderful Christmas songs. I hope people will like the ones that I wrote. They're special to my heart. And
the crowd up there is really nice. I've performed up there before, and Bob and I and a few other people are going to be out at the Crown Center Mall December 5th, and we have a thing called Christmas Palooza. I'll give you a flyer before you leave. So
Palooza.
Christmas Palooza. Don't ask.
Sounds like bubble gum or something.
Yeah. Christmas bazooka. Sandy, if any of our viewers would like to buy your new Christmas CD, is it available for purchase online?
Yeah. cdbaby.com. If you go there. On my website, if you click on my music section, it'll take you right to CD Baby.
Okay. So it's cdbaby.com, and then is it / something?
No, if you just have to type in my name. Now, my Christmas CD is Sandy Lusco Huffman, but my other CDs are listed Sandy Lusco.
Okay, so if you're looking for the Christmas CD, cdbaby.com, and then just look for Sandy Lusco Huffman. Correct?
Yes.
Okay. Sandy, do you have what's the address of your website?
www.sandy with a Y, Lusco, Lusco, Huffman.com.
One more time.
www.sandy with a Y, Lusco, Lusco, Huffman.com.
And everybody's on Facebook, and I imagine you are too.
No,
so
I'm a backwoods gal. I'm not on Facebook.
No, are you serious?
I'm serious.
Oh my good. How are you going to save face when you're not on Facebook?
I have a scripture motto.
What's that?
Lead a quiet life and tend to your own business.
Yeah, well,
work with your hands. I get into knowing too much business on Facebook.
Yeah, my political statement.
For my taste.
My political statement along those lines is speak softly, but carry a big stick.
Stick.
I think that's how the United States should proceed with all this terrorism and the whole bit. Hey, Sandy, I see our time is just about up for this edition of the Ron King Show. Thank you so much for coming into our studios this evening. It was a hoot.
Thank you, Ron. It's people like you that help people like me to get our music out there. People don't know if you don't have ways of letting them know, and you make a way for us, and
Okay.
I really appreciate it.
Okay, so on behalf of Christian singer-songwriter Sandy Lusco Huffman, this is Ron King of RKP Radio saying so long till we catch you next time on the Ron King Show.